Hello and welcome. I've had the odd comment asking if I can break up my videos a little bit more, and in hindsight, when I look back at the basics videos, they are quite long, and if you're looking for a specific subject, it could be quite difficult, having to sort of trawl through a long video. So I've decided to break the videos up a little bit more. So this is a part 2, if you like, of a basics video. So I'll be breaking the videos up into more structured subjects as such. So this video is going to be about selecting the correct needle for the job and installing the needle into the machine properly. Quite an important part of sewing is needle selection. If we have a wee look in the manual here, we'll see that it talks about different types of fabric, thread sizes, needle sizes, straight stitching, stitches per inch or millimeters per stitch, things like that. So, sort of starts here at delicates, thread size, fine mercerized cotton, fine synthetic, so that'll be like polyester. And it's talking about needle sizes here in the old imperial measurement, so 9, that's a size 70. Straight stitching, so stitches per inch 15 to 20, or millimeters 1.3 mil to 1.7 millimeters. And then, lightweight, talks about different thread again, size 11 needle, that's an 80. Medium weight, size needle, a 14, which is a 90, I think. Yep, a 90. And then a medium to heavy, size 16 is a 100 size needle. And heavyweight, the size 18, that's 110. Now, that's quite a good guide for determining, what sort of needle you should use, stitch length, and types of thread. The other thing to consider also is that needles come in different types. If we have a look at a Singer multi-pack here, we've got size 11, 14 and 16, or size 80, 90 and 100 there, different size needles. But all of these needles are designed for woven fabrics, so they are classed as a round sharp point. So these needles will pierce between the weave of woven fabric, and that's what they're designed to do. But if you're sewing knitted fabrics, you want to use a ball point. If we have a close look here, this is the ballpoint needle, the Singer pack. It's showing a little diagram here of knitted fabrics, and what you don't want is to use a round sharp or a spear point, a sharp needle on knitted fabrics, because if the needle breaks one of these threads, these knitted threads, it'll cause the fabric to get like a run or a ladder, and you don't want that. It's going to cause a problem with the sort of structure and the integrity of the fabric. So the ball point is sort of a blunter needle, if you like. It's not blunt as such, it's got a round point. And what that does is it, rather than cutting through any fibres here, it actually separates and goes down in between each fibre. So therefore, retaining the integrity of the knitted structure. These are ballpoint needles, Singer 2045, and spear point or round sharp is 2020. So they have the designation of a 130/705H, and you notice on the end here it's got -S, that'll be for stretch fabric or knitted. A universal needle has got this number here, 130/705H. That's a standard round sharp needle, universal. If we have a look at the Smets universal needle, you'll notice that it's also a 130/705H needle, universal round sharp point. Go back to the Singer one here, and you can see that it's got the same number here, but the Singer designation is 2020. So you should really be using the appropriate needle for the type of fabric that you're using. Generally, there's woven and knit are the two main types of fabric. So make sure you select the correct needle for the job. You'll also find other needles available. The likes of these Smets, also a universal needle as such. It's still got 130/705H and then an SUK, and the SUK is a heavy ballpoint. This is designed for jersey type knitted material, so it's still knitted. It needs a ballpoint, but it's a heavier ballpoint because it's probably like a knitted type, woolen type material. So we need a heavy ballpoint for that. And then you've got other specialised needles. Again, 130/705H, and then the designation J on the end for jeans. And this is specifically designed for jeans. And they have a special type of point on them. They're a heavier needle. You can see that's 110, which is 1.1 millimeters, or size 18 in the Imperial. And you know they are especially designed for sewing jeans fabric. And then you've got the likes of a leather point. Again, might be difficult to read there, but that's 130/705H-LL. And the LL stands for leather with a left twist. A leather needle has a cutting type point that's twisted either one way or the other, to the left or to the right. You can also get LRs. And these are a heavier needle, 110 size, it's 1.1 mil, or millimeters, and size 18. So there's all sorts of different needles for different jobs, and so it's just a matter of determining what fabric you're sewing, what type of seam, how heavy it is. All those sorts of things come into, you know, how you select your needle, but that's an important starting point. Once you've selected your needle, it's just a matter of either installing it into the machine or just sticking with what you've got, if that's the correct needle that you've got installed. But let's say you wanted to change the needle, and I did go through this on the overview video, but I thought it's probably a good thing to have in the basics video. On these machines, it's just a matter of undoing the needle set screw here, just anti-clockwise, just to loosen that there, pull the needle out. It's best to get the needle bar right up as far as it'll go. So you get your new needle, and by the way, I've removed the foot shank and the presser foot here just to make it easier to see in here. But if you've got the foot still attached, just be careful when you're installing the needle not to hit the point of this needle on the foot or the plate here. You don't want to be touching that needle point on any metal surface. Also, make sure you've got the needle around the right way. So if we turn this needle around, on the Singer needles anyway, there's actually writing on the back of the shank here, and that's a flat section on the shank. And if we turn the needle around, this is a rounded section. So if we have a look end on, you might be able to see there's a flat on this edge here. So you want to have that flat surface to the rear of the machine. You can see the writing on the flat surface there. The Smets needles don't have writing on the flat surface, so just be aware of that. So the flat surface is on my index finger here. I'm touching the flat surface. My thumb is on the rounded surface, and then we just install the needle into the hole there, and make sure it goes right up into the hole and hits the stopper. Make sure it's right up at the stopper, and then tighten the needle set screw. I service quite a few machines, and quite often I'll get a machine in that's basically got the needle in back to front, or it's not up into its hole properly, not completely inserted properly. So it might be sitting down like that, and that has a bad effect on the position of the needle in relation to the hook that picks the thread up off the needle. So just make sure that's right in. The other nice thing about the Singer, this model, 700 series, is you can't get the needle in back to front. So it is actually impossible to do. Even though I said make sure you've got the flat to the back, you won't be able to get the needle in with the flat facing you. So it's an impossibility, even if you undid this a lot, it just won't go in. will go in part way, but I don't think the screw will tighten up. Well, actually it will, but I think it's misaligned, so I think that is going to hit the plate. I'm going to sacrifice this needle. Yeah, needle's hitting the plate here, so that needle is actually skewed. Even though it's in back to front, it's skewed. You'd never be able to use it like that, and if you did try and use it like that and you put your foot down, it would just snap the needle straight away. So anyway, that, just make sure it's in the right way on any machine. That sort of goes for any machine. But this is a really neat feature. You can't get the needle in back to front. It's a great design, great feature, and I'm quite sure why they don't use them on machines today, because that would save a lot of issues. So that's it for this basics video on the Singer 700 series sewing machine needles and needle selection. It's quite important. It's one of the most important parts of the sewing machine, really, is making sure that you've got the correct needle for the job, the correct size and the correct type. If you like these videos, might I recommend other videos on the Singer 700 series sewing machines. And as always, thank you very much for watching.